So I just invite you to take in these words into silent contemplation. Dawn is that refreshing start after a night of rest and sleep. Dawn is that gentle beginning who waves a tired night goodbye. Dawn sees a yellow, watery sun trying to warm a cold earth. Dawn waters the earth with dew and is the first drink for all nature. Dawn sees a new day, a fresh start that wakes plants and trees. Dawn sees a new light shining on earth, a light of hope. Dawn spreads light every day to all countries around the world. Dawn can be many colors, shining over every continent. So in this moment, right here, right now, I just remember the presence of the divine, that one infinite, absolute, and self-existent cause, the first cause, the all in all, knowing that this one life lives and moves and has its being and expression in all things in all of life. I know that it is present right here, right now, indeed in this very room. I know this spirit lives and moves, has its expression, has its being in, through, and as me, as each person here. I know Reverend Suzette. I know that she is divinely inspired. Today, I know that Joe Rathburn is, as he shares his gift of music and his talent, just touches us, each one of us. I know that Martin on technology and Victoria and everyone who is here in service today, being of service to this community, that as we do so for this community, it reverberates and spreads. And indeed, in this very room, there is enough joy and power and love to light up the world. And I know that today, as we are 1 week into the new year, I know that this is indeed a new dawn, a new beginning, that we look forward to the year ahead, day by day, one moment at a time, as we just grow in our expression, as Spirit just expresses more and more through each one of us as we are individual. And I'm just so grateful for this time together. I know that this is just sacred time, that this is holy ground, that something powerful is happening right here, right now, for each one of us and for all the lives of those we touch in our world, in our lives. And for this, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to stand in the truth and to recognize it and declare it, that on this day, great things are happening. And so I just allow this service to unfold. I know that it is divinely inspired, grounded in love. I call it forth into being, saying, let it be done, and so it is. Oh, and let's bring Joe Rathburn back. Yeah.
There's a woman on my Facebook feed, one of my friends, Facebook friends, who always, she posts like 10 times a day, and, you know, kind of a Facebook blogger, if you will. And one of the things she does is she posts musical-related things, and one of the common questions she always asks a couple times a year is, what's the best first line in a song that you can think of? Well, I always submit the first line to this song, which is my song, and because I've been particularly proud of it ever since I wrote it, and it fits the theme today, this first line. So this is a song called "What Don't Kill You Makes You Stronger," but that's not the first line. Okay. When I woke up today, I had to say, hey, so far, so good. You can't take too much for granted lately. Guess you never should. It's sure a mixed up blessing how there's something new around every twist and turn. What don't kill you makes you stronger. If you're really lucky, you live and you love. Now there's nothing I like better than to have things go my way. But without knowing where you're going, lots of things can go astray. You can go the wrong direction if your destination's no concern. And what don't kill you makes you stronger. If you're really lucky, you live and you learn. There are trials and tribulations, lots of hoops we all must jump through. Everybody's got to do it sometime. No one picks on you. So don't sweat it, or you'll let it tie you up in knots and make your stomach churn. And what don't kill you makes you stronger. If you're really lucky, you live and you learn. I've had teachers, priests, and preachers showing me how to toe the line. And I've had parents, friends, and neighbors give advice. Most of it was fine. All your life you get free knowledge, but wisdom's something that you gotta earn. What don't kill you makes you stronger. If you're really lucky, you live and you learn. Well, the young are getting younger as their elders grow more gray. They have far less things in common now, and even less to say. But I say have pity on the fool who stands upon the bridge he torched to watch it burn. What don't kill you makes you stronger. If you're really lucky, you live and you learn. Now the one thing about luck is that you have to make your own. Yeah, it's quite a bit like farming, see? You reap just what you've sown. So do you. I wish good planting, so at harvest time all bad luck you will spurn. What don't kill you makes you stronger. What don't kill you makes you stronger. What don't kill you makes you stronger. If you're really lucky, you live and you learn. Thank you.
That was good. I've heard that before, and I always like that song.
Well, I'm glad of that.
I always like that song. That's right. Oh. Let's all take a deep breath and let go of 23.
I was
There you
letting
go.
my breath out.
I got it, yeah. So, Happy New Year. You know, I'm going to think about this. About 2 months ago, I had somebody do my chart. And I've never had that done. Very professional. I even paid for it. I didn't know I was going to have to, but I did. And then, and they said that the latter part of 23 was going to be, something was going to happen. Well, did I know what would happen? No. But it was going to cost me a lot of money. And I thought, well, the only thing that cost me a lot of money were the tickets to Adele. So it wasn't that. But the point I'm trying to make is then they said the rest of 24 was going to be great. And so I'm claiming that. I'm claiming that 24 is going to be great. And not just for me, but for all of us. The other thing is, and I'm going to talk a lot about this today, is that I think that all of us have been going through, over the last 4 years, a transformation of ourselves. A transformation of disappointment by the pandemic to a transformation of what do we want to make out of it. Okay? So that's kind of what the theme about everything I'm going to talk about today. And I'll bring up a few stories about that. But Casey Taylor, that's God calling. Tell him I got it. Okay? Casey Taylor, she said, this is the gal who wrote part of this talk, and then I added more. It says, the sun has set on the old way of thinking. As we rise into this new year, we shake off the dust of yesterday to merge into a beautiful world that truly works for everyone. So I've talked about this, not a lot, but on occasion, I talk about the pandemic. I want you to go back to the date, and I know the date because somebody reminded me of it yesterday, March 13th, 2020. That's when in my opinion, the world stopped because it was a pandemic. And none of us understood really what that was. I mean, did you understand what it was? I didn't. I mean, I heard it, I heard the word, but I had no idea what that would look like. But on that day, every order that I had placed for my customers from January to March 13th went away. All that business died. It was gone. And so part of me, and I think part of the world, was grieving because what we thought was no longer. And it was so shocking that I think, at least for myself, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, what is going to happen? Because it wasn't just my personal work, but was with all of you. What am I going to do? How are we going to move through this? And so we questioned. I questioned a lot. And I questioned what's going to happen to my people being you, my people being my customers, my people being just being on, going to the store. What's going to happen to all of us? They added social distancing, and that was weird, wasn't it? Hi, friend.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary. How are you? I can't touch her, though. I can't hug her. I can't give her that feeling. So it made us all go within. We had to go within ourselves and look at ourselves. In fact, I was like, how am I going to go to the gym? There's no gym. So what did I do? I painted my entire house over that year. Got up on those ladders then. We created good habits and we created some not so good habits, right? We did a lot of things that we would normally not do. I bring that up because 2024, as I just said, is to me the transformational year. It's our year to rise from the old into the new. It's to begin something different. And I'll give you some different examples of that later. The other thing I want to say is that CSL, this talk and the yearly theme for the entire year is a rising. We're rising into something new. It's not about, let's just keep doing what we've been doing, right? Kind of plugging along. It's like, no. It's about all of us now saying, this changed my life. Did Science Mind change your life, anybody? Did anybody? Raise your hand if it changed your life. Great. See, I'm not talking to the choir. It changed our life. But do we ever give this to our friends? We've never gone out and actually said, hey, you know what? I got a secret here, and I want to give it to you, but you got to come to my church. Church doesn't have a good word anymore. It's not a good word. But you can say, I'm taking this class, it's changing my life. And so, and this is really weird for me, so when I talk about this, it's not something I'm normally used to saying. We need to go tell our friends and bring them here. What we do here changes lives, but it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that happens over time. And so, even people, there are a few of us that are not here. I call them because I know the struggle that's going on within them. And so with that, I'm saying, come on, come back, do this. Let's move forward together. We are stronger together. Right? When you come here, do you feel better? When you walk in the door, do you feel better? Yes. That's all it takes is for you to show up. That's the hardest part. Centers for Spiritual Living said this, and I thought, well, okay, I'm going to read what they said. It says, the Centers for Spiritual Living can no longer be the world's best kept secret. It's time for us to merge into this new world, driven by faith, leading with courage, and moving into action. It's time for a grand arising. It's interesting, when the new leadership took over last year, I think it was in March, one of the first things that the new leadership did is they had Zoom calls, I think, it was once a month. But they didn't tell us what they were going to do. I thought, well, this is different. Instead, they asked us, what do you think we need to do? What do you think we need to do? How do you think we need to be in the world? What do you think's going to change or inspire people to come to us? And I actually said, you know, I was bad. And not just me, but many of us said, we are the best kept secret. We really are. And then the other thing I said is we need to bring love. We need to bridge that gap from the mind to the heart so that we bring that out into the world. And so today, as I'm talking about this, there's another 300 centers that are doing the same. So this is a collective effort. It's not just about me telling you. So when you're out in the world, and I know all of you go out there and you do your very best. But when you're out there now, I want you to know there's other people doing this. So you're not just a few. There are many. There are many. Last week I talked about spiritual intentions. If you were not here last week and you want one of those, I'm going to show it to you in a minute. You want one of those circles with all the intentions or the principles. They have principles on there. There's some outside the door and we can bring them in and hand them to you. But I think it's really important to realize I didn't set goals. I'm not going to set goals for us. My wisdom council will help me do that. But I want to set spiritual intentions for us. Because if we're really practicing what I call the principles and we're out there in the world doing that, it becomes a natural part of our being. And we need to be just being that. So today is about consciously implementing your spiritual intentions. So let me see where I've got it here. I think this is it next. So this is what we did last week. We're not going to do that again today. But this is the chart. We have charts outside. But what we did last week basically is that we went through, all the practitioners would read a poem or quote, and then I would talk about this, but every person went through every one of those categories, and they would write some spiritual intention behind that. So for me, one of them was peace. I seem to have this ability to get very irritated at individuals at my home. And it's really hard because they're coming from a different place than I think they're coming from. And so I'm consciously now trying to bring peace to myself so that I can try and understand them at a different level. It's hard. This stuff is not easy. But I want you to know that it's attainable. All of us can do this. Was last week good for you? Did anybody, those of you who were here, there were a lot of you that were here. Yeah. So this is what we're going to work on this year. The other thing is if you want this chart, it's on the website now. I've been updating the website, so it's almost fully updated. That's number one. Number two is you can go to Facebook or YouTube now. Both of these videos, YouTube is probably shorter, of exactly what we did last week. So please take advantage of this. And you can just take the graphics off the website, put it on a piece of paper, and then you can fill it out. The difference would be the one that we have here has all the sayings that the practitioner did, which I thought were beautiful. It was like so perfect last week about that. But anyway, the idea here is we want to shake off all the stuff from last year. Last year was hard. Was it hard for anybody else? Anybody have a hard time? Okay, I did. I know I did. So, yeah. And we want to rise up to something greater. Science of Mind says this. You see? There we go. We should learn to control our thought process and bring them into line with reality. Thought should tend more and more towards affirmative attitude of the mind that is positive, stable, and above all else, towards a real unity with spirit that is already complete and perfect. Already complete and perfect. There's nothing that we have to do except to know that this stuff works. It just works. Spirit's already there, co-creating with you everything that you want. And not go, oh, I'm alone. We're not alone. We are absolutely not alone. We have to train what I call our thoughts. Because trained thoughts are more powerful than untrained mind. Okay? I'm kind of skipping through a lot of things because I really, I want to get to the meat of some things that, it happened along the way to becoming a minister. I'm kind of skipping around here a little bit, but by the way, I don't think you guys know this, but Ohm will be 16 years old in June. Can you believe that? I know, yay. And prior to that, to my creating all of this, I won't go into anything that happened to me, but I can just tell you I was really unhappy. I was very sad because a lot of things in my life, it's kind of like the pandemic, a lot of things had gone away that belief systems, belief about people, belief about being a minister, a lot of things changed, and it was really hard on me. And but I had a group of 8. Some of you are in this room, have stayed with me that whole time. And I had a group of 8, and I said, I got to teach a class. I have to teach a class, and I wasn't really ready to teach a CSL class, but I wanted to teach something. And I thought, what is it? I asked God, what is it that I need? Reveal to me that which I need. And the word that came up for me was happiness. Happiness. And I thought, well, how can I teach happiness, So I just went on Amazon and I wrote the word book on happiness. And this great book came forward. So I'm saying this for 2 reasons. One is so you understand where I came from, because I think the pandemic did the exact same thing to us. It took us down that deep hole, and we had to come back up. But if you're experiencing unhappiness, I have this incredible book that is just like a Bible on happiness. It's called Choose Happiness. And I'm writing about this now in my thesis paper, but one of the, I want to just go over the chapters with you because they're profound. They're just absolutely profound. You find it here. Because I think that when we go through huge situations like this, whether it's the pandemic or whether it's our personal lives, is that we have things happen that we don't really relate to until it's brought to our attention. So here's some things. Trust who you are. When we had the pandemic, did you trust who you were? Heck no, you didn't know what even to do, did you? Did you know what to do, Mary?
I had to go to work.
She had to go to work, but you wore a double mask, right?
Yeah.
Double mask. Let your values and goals work for you. And the cool part about this book is it's like a Bible, you can pick it up anywhere, and there's some little positive note for you. Choose your attitudes and responses. Choose your attitudes and responses. Build self-respect. Because when we go through this stuff, we're like, who am I today? Who am I? Consider others. So who else is being involved in your situation? Honor the people you love and think and act positively. So if anybody's struggling, I highly recommend this book. It's just a very nice, easy read. And there are stories in here. And here's one I'll give you. I just opened it too. It says, whatever's true, whatever's noble, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Doesn't that make you feel better? That's by, it doesn't tell me. Oh, listen to St. Paul. That's by St. Paul. Activating the highest values, you also activate your highest potential. So think about that. Ernst Holmes said this. He said, through the medium of mind, man unifies with the universe and contacts a power that can do anything for him that he or she is about to conceive of doing. So in other words, if you put it in, just like I read here, how you felt about it, when you put your mind and your words and your thoughts into action, you are conspirating with the universe to say yes. It's automatic. It wants to say yes. But if we constantly go back to the, I'll have this, the bad place, it's going to say yes to that too. So we have to lift ourselves up. Nobody else is going to do that for us, right? Do you understand what I'm saying?
the author of that book?
This is Stephanie Dowrick. I'll leave it up here so if anybody wants it. It is something to have in your library. That's all I can tell you. There are very few books. I have a ton of books that I've never read, but I read this one 100%. It's really worth having. So I'm going to talk about intention. There we go. Intention equals power. I did this on purpose because I didn't want you to read anything else, but your intentions have power. When I was in my 30s, I think it was about 33, 34, I worked for a locksmith company. How funny. You never knew I did that, did you? That's one story I've not given you. And there's this young man who came to be the boss. He bought the company, and he was very handsome, very smart. I still communicate with him. And his name was Bruce Merrifield. Anyway, he walked in with a lot of intentions and goal setting, right? Now, he took over a company that was about $9 million, which isn't a bad size of a company. And then he would sit with every group, whether it didn't matter what you were. He would assign you a position so you knew exactly where you were in the company. And then he would give you what we call goals, right? And then, by the end of the year, something amazing happened. We went from 9 million to 17 million in a year. That's huge. It's a huge change.
17 or 70?
17. 9 to 17 is still a lot. Million. So we captured a whole bunch of business. Now what made him special, and that's so funny because I think about it, when I worked there, I knew nothing about science of mind. I just thought he was a miracle guy. He came in and he just did all these neat things, and I thought, boy, he's really smart. He has a master's degree. When I came to science of mind, I figured it out, is that he had intentions, and you know what he did? Is he empowered all of us to go create, to go be. I created a program. I don't know if you've ever been in well, I don't know if it still exists anymore, but I was the marketing manager, and I created one. I had a 100-page catalog that they had, and I moved that into a 500-page catalog, and that catalog became the catalog the locksmiths would give to their customers. And it went to, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands that they gave away. What are the things? We did so many different things that were very innovative, and it was fun. It was fun. But he empowered all of us. And that's what I want you to know about your intentions and power. It's just not power for yourself. It's power for you to help other people. Because that's what we teach here. I always say, give it away. Right? Give it away. Give this stuff away. The key is that he was not only creating good for the individuals, but he did it for the whole company. So how many here have children? Yeah. So you want to empower them. Empower them so that they can be more than they ever thought they could be in the world. And it's not an easy world out there. What is it? TJ had a little baby girl, and I thought, oh my goodness, how can we help him bring up this child and this teaching? Because this teaching is so powerful to the world. It's like Zoe. Zoe was here last month. Zoe was our little girl, and we brought her up, and now she's part of what they call the next gen in Science of Mind group, to do bigger things. They're confident. They're not afraid of the world. How many of you were afraid of the world when you first grew up? All of us. We didn't know. It was always a mystery. There was this person that was going to save us. But it was a mystery to us. So, I'm not going to get through all this other stuff here. There's a lot in this. So there's some things we have to do. One is realize intention is power, and then give it away. Number 2 is don't start your day with the broken piece of yesterday. You know what? And we'll go into more of that poem, but writing. It's so easy to go to bed thinking that you failed the day before or that day. And I'm encouraging you to let it go. It no longer serves who you are. Stuff happens. See, I had to hold that in. Stuff happens. And because it happens, it just is. It does not control your life. And it's always, I don't want to say it's always going to be there, but it is there more often than maybe we want it to be. So don't start your day with a broken piece of yesterday. Every day is a fresh start, just like your song. Each day is a new beginning. Every morning we wake up is the first day of our new life. I can remember when I first came to Science of Mind, I let myself go through a year of learning about my shadow. I did it on purpose because I didn't understand what happened to me, and that told me I needed to understand my shadow. What was my shadow doing to me? What was I allowing my mind and my shadow doing during that time? And there was some really weird stuff. But I can remember January 1st, I'm riding my bike in Hillcrest, and I had this negative thought come up. And I said to myself, no, we're going to have a good day. I'm not going to think that way anymore. And I had these conversations. Anybody have conversations in their mind? Good, I'm not alone.
Yep.
So I had these conversations that would say, nope, we're not going to think that way. We're going to think this way. And it took me a while to finally get it so it didn't do that anymore. But the point I'm making is that we have to make every day new. And maybe today, the 7th of January, that you make it new. And it's only going to be new. So if you have a negative thought, shift it, change it. Can you do that? Can you shift those thoughts? Okay, good. So here's some ideas around all of that too. First is every day we wake up, we are at choice. Remember that. You're at choice. If you want to have a bad day, just go have a bad day, okay? Just go have it, or not. Go somewhere else that makes you happy. Go somewhere else that you can choose happiness. That's why I love the title here. You can look at your day ahead and feel crushed by the to-do list and the perception of responsibilities. I have so many responsibilities, sometimes it really does get me down. So I'm changing that. I'll read the rest. Or we can remember that our only responsibility is to express ourselves as divine beings. So one of the things that, don't read all the rest because I'm going to talk more about that. One of the things that I have are a lot of responsibilities, not just with the church, but with a lot of other things. And so I write out a list, okay? But I normally don't add my principles in there. This year I'm going to put my principles at the top as a reminder. Because how many people get caught up in life? All of us. We get caught up and we forget. So I purposely wrote this out for you this morning so you can see what it's going to do. Because I'm committed to what I'm asking you to do for yourself. And that is, what are your things you got to do, your to-dos, blah. And then, but really, what do you want to get accomplished? You want to feel peaceful. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel clarity. And I want to feel like it's easy. That I'm not struggling through this. Because my list is usually 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? But I only do one page at a time. Then I cross it off. Then I start a new page. Because there is so much. We could make ourselves really busy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So the second thing the third thing is, the world we live in is not designed to remind us of that, right? Thankfully, this is what Centers for Spiritual Living is about. So our classes, our workshops, the things that we do here are designed to connect us to the truth of who we are and the truth of what we are to be in the world. It's very important. Michael Singer, author of Untethered Soul, he says this. He says, the spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. In order to grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change at all times. You say that again. The spiritual journey is one of constant transformation. So we're always changing. In order to grow, you must give up the struggle to remain the same and learn to embrace change all the time. How many people like change? Oh, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6. Anybody online? Give me a heart if you like change. I'm not sure. More of you don't. Change is hard. Change is very hard. But we can make it easy. We can make it easy. So I'm going to take you back to 2020, and I'm going to probably put you in shock again. But when I saw this picture, it put me in shock. And it took me back to that place. And then I'm going to take you to a new place of transformation. That was 2020. Scary, right? Look at all they have these canisters. They're going to go spray things and people. And they're in these suits that are protecting them. It was a totally closed up environment then. That's where we were, but we're not there anymore. Here's where we are. There are more people traveling this year than any year ever. More people traveled because they were tired of being at home. They went to baseball games. Yay! Go Padres, right? All right. They went to concerts. I've been to many concerts recently. Or to plays. Those are really fun. I like these kids because they're hanging out at the park. They're really, literally hanging out. You're going to miss the best picture coming up. This is my favorite picture. They're enjoying the beach with their dog. Like dog looks like, what did you do to me? But they're going places. They're doing things. They're out and about. They're having lunch with their friends, right? We're doing things here. I mean, I think this was the best Christmas party we've ever had. We were all having a good time. We played. And then New Year's Eve. One of the reasons I love New Year's Eve is because we're all doing this at the same time. We're all saying, I want a better world. We're all saying, I want a better life. We're all saying, I want the world to be at peace. Wouldn't you say? I'm saying that. I think all of us, at some level, wherever you are in the world, we don't want to see any more of this fighting. It's like we're done with it. But we're celebrating as a world. It's probably the one time that we do that a year. It's where we can meet face to face. Now we can look at each other and smile and say, I don't have to be 6 feet away from you. I can hug you. And we're starting to experience what I call a new normal. Now, maybe I'm speaking to the choir here, but I really believe that we have to. I know still it's some individuals that are staying at home because they're afraid to get out in the world. We have to help them. It's time to be in the world and doing things, being more meaningful around all of that. Because we're at choice. We're totally at choice. I wrote this down because I think it's also a good reminder in that there's no magic pill coming. You are the pill. And there's not someone coming to save us. We have to do it ourselves. Nobody else would do it for us. As much, I know you're like, oh, I'm disappointed. It has to come from inside. And I think that we give you most of the tools to do that here. So I'm going to encourage you. There's a lot of things that we're starting. In fact, when I make the announcements, I will say more about it. But I want you to participate at a level that you can. And if it's about money, talk to me. Talk to me. I want everybody to participate at a level where you can. And we'll figure it out. And bring your friends here. Get people involved. And I won't be pushing you to do that, but I will say, you know what we have here, right? Do you feel love when you walk in the room?
Yep.
That's what we want to give away. Let's give that away and bring them here. So I'm going to end with a few quotes. A lot of this was saying it over and over and over, and I don't think I need to do that with you. I think what I want you to know is This is the time today that we move forward. So I have 3 quotes, and then I'm going to pray us in, and we'll have Joe come back. So here are the quotes. Spirituality is a practice that brings relief, communication, and transformation. Thich Nhat Hanh. Rumi says, where am I going to this glorious journey? To your house, of course. We're the house. And the African proverb is, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Go together. So let's close our eyes and let's go together to that one place, that infinite place that we call God, Spirit, the divine, the one essence. To know that wherever we are, whether we're in the sanctuary, online, watching this later on, that we're connected in a very special way. We're connected by the one presence, the one infinite soul that brings us all together to know this truth. And as I know that I'm one with that infinite presence. And I know that everyone that sees this message is fully connected on purpose to know the truth, that every intention we set has power to change, power to help, power to make a difference. And so I know and accept today that we came together to learn this, to know this, to be that, and to take it out into the world, that 2024 is a new year. It's a new way. It's a new way of being, of acting, of being confident in ourselves. And knowing that Spirit guides us along the way, that we're co-created at every moment. And so at any moment, I know here and now that Spirit says yes to those good things that we want to create. And it's just our work to go ahead and do it. And so I bless each of you today. I know that you came here on purpose, that you want to hear this because this is who you are. And I know that you're setting intentions that create a better world for yourself, for your family, your community, and for the world. And so with that, I just give great thanks, knowing that I am surrounded by that unifying voice of oneness. And I release these words knowing that all is well, all is done, and it's really good. And join me in saying, and so it is, and so it is.